let's say you are making X amount, but you need to spend not for, I'm not talking about crazy spending, but just to maintain your life, X plus 10, for example.
I think all human are naturally wired to one connection. That's why we stay in touch with our family and parents. And do you have friends?
When you are rich,
No, I'm saying because
yes,
you have
yes,
friends, right?
yes.
Because you are asking me why are we looking for genuine connections,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So you have friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have also business partners.
Yeah,
Okay. Are all your friends business partners?
not necessarily.
Okay. So why do you need friends since you already have business partners?
Okay. Welcome to this new episode of Breaking Boundaries. I'm Raoul. I'm with my friend Anthony. What's good?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good. And how was your week?
Great. Not much, but okay.
Sounds boring.
Most life is mostly boring. It can become a problem when it gets too interesting sometimes, but yeah.
So,
Well,
or
by
for
interesting, I mean stimulating. Sometimes you just want peace. You don't want too much. But sometimes you need fun. So it's good to have a good balance. Don't you think? Or you want to be stimulated all the time. And when I say stimulated, I don't mean partying. I mean problems also as well. That's stimulating too. So
okay.
because when you have problems, you are not bored, definitely. So goes both ways.
Depend on the type of problem.
Okay, give me a problem which is boring.
Talking to some certain type of people.
But that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Also.
Let's say someone. I put it. Someone.
Yeah.
It's an example. Is
Yeah.
writing you.
Is what?
It's writing you.
Yeah.
And you don't want to talk to that person. It can
Yeah.
be a girl or a guy.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Well, you just have to put the person in the archives and problem solve. So is it really a problem?
Yeah, but you are bringing a solution to a problem, but it was a problem at first place.
Yeah, but a 5-second problem.
Anyways, today we are going to try something new. We have some question that we are going to answer. And yeah, so you are going to give me a question or I'm going to give
Yeah,
you?
let me start. I'll
Okay.
give you questions. I hope this one is spicy. Okay. Let me start with the question. How many girlfriends do you have?
Oh.
No. I'm just joking. It's not the question. Okay, so pay off. The question is pay off debt or invest first?
Pay off debt or invest first?
Yeah, that's the question.
Uh, um, you can pay off the debt. So that means that you have money.
Yeah.
Okay, so that depends. If the interest of the debt is lower than the money you can make with the investment, you are better to invest the money.
Okay, so if the interest of the debt is lower than the investment, but what if the deadline is already there?
If the deadline is already there, so you have to pay the debt or you default.
Okay, okay, so when you say default, is the defaulting going to affect your decision? Like you can, for example, borrow someone who can cut off your arm if you
Yes,
default.
exactly.
And you can borrow someone who is going to shout out you if you default. Is the result that you are the consequence of defaulting going to affect your decision?
Yeah, you need to take in account the consequences.
So if you borrow someone who is nice, you can you can default. It's fine.
Yeah.
Depends.
Depend.
So it's bad to be nice.
Oh, it, it's expensive to be nice sometimes
Yeah.
because people are going to take advantage.
How do you know? Are you a nice person?
Yeah, I'm a very nice guy.
Ah.
Don't I look?
Yeah, yeah. You did that thing when you lied, but it's okay.
Re-
It's okay.
okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Continue. Ask your question.
So, okay. What is your favorite hack for saving money painlessly?
Painlessly.
Yes, it's not even possible to save
Saving
money painlessly.
saving money painlessly. A hack for saving money. I guess being rich. I'm not saying it is my hack, but I'm saying if you're rich, then it's painless to save money because you don't know what to do with it.
But when you are rich, do you really save money, or you are getting to a point that you are not even able to spend all the money that is coming in?
Why you should ask that question to someone who is rich? I'm not rich.
So you broke.
So you are rich? Maybe you can answer the question
Yes, in my head, I'm
in
rich.
your head.
Yes, I'm as rich as
So you're still
Elon Musk.
delusional.
Yeah,
Yeah. If it makes you happy, then who am I to judge?
why not?
Yeah. So yeah, people tell me.
Do you want another question?
Okay.
Do you believe in earning more or spending less?
I think it's just logic. Of course, earning more.
Who told you that it's logic?
Well, I
Logic
can
to
I
you.
can I can demonstrate why I think
Okay.
it's logic.
All right. Go ahead.
So if I make 1 billion a month, it's
Okay.
going to be easy to spend less. So the more I earn, the easier it is to spend less. But if I earn less, it gets harder to spend less. So
And if you are not able to earn 1 billion a month, let's go with a something more close.
okay, you say if for an average earner, what
Yeah.
is better?
Yeah.
Earn more or spend less? I think it depends on what you are spending on. For example, if I spend on something that will earn me more in the future, then it's better to spend more. If I'm spending on something that is going to make me earn less or who is not going to affect my earnings in the future, then it's better to spend less.
Is it what you are always doing? Or
Me
this is
personally,
just YouTube bullshit that you are throwing to me right now?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay, the real answer now.
What do you mean by the real answer?
Yeah, I mean, how do you do?
For what?
Do you apply the logic that you just
Yeah, of course.
okay? So let's say it's not an investment;
Mm-hmm.
it's a spending on your enjoyment,
Yeah,
like they say in Nigeria.
yeah.
So, what-
Well, spending on your enjoyment can be an investment. It depends.
on what?
If you work so hard, maybe it might be a good idea to just chill so that you can work even harder.
Okay. So, what do you mean by working hard? If let's say you are a scammer and
You are the scammer. Why are you saying, let's say I'm the
I'm saying
scammer?
if you are a scammer, you need to have a brain to be a scammer.
Ah, yeah, yeah, I know. I'm not saying you don't have a brain. I'm just saying, I'm just teaching your profession, but it's okay.
Yeah, if you are a scammer,
Yeah.
it's not that hard to make money. Let's say, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Are you going to enjoy spend on enjoyment because for what? Sign that you would what it was not that hard to make money. Or let's say you are from all money, for example.
Yeah.
You're not going to say that you did work hard to get that money.
Okay. Basically, you're saying if you didn't work hard to get the money,
Yes.
what is it worth it to spend on enjoyment? That's the question.
Yes, because you say that spending on enjoyment is one sort of investment, right?
Yeah, it depends. It can be an investment, it can be a mistake. It depends.
Okay.
Don't you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If it makes you happy.
You're so nice. You care about my happiness. For the surprising.
I'm not caring about your happiness.
But I thought you were a nice person.
That doesn't mean that I have to care about
Hmm.
hopeless
Now,
people.
now we see.
Okay. Do budget actually work?
Do budget actually work?
Yeah, for broke people and for rich people.
Well, tell me, what do you think?
For who? Broke people.
How do you see yourself?
As a human,
No, I mean, in that spectrum of broke and rich.
I'm working.
Okay. Do you see yourself as a broke person or as a rich person?
Um,
And don't give a political answer.
I don't see myself as a broke person.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that I see myself as a rich person. So
You are in the middle.
I'm working. That's why.
Okay. So for people who are working, answer the question for people who are
It's
working.
hard to budget sometimes uh, because shit happens,
Mm.
and yeah, yeah, you can also take that into consideration when you are doing your budget, but sometimes it's hard because if you are not making enough money, it's hard to it's kind of pointless to budget. People may feel that it's pointless to budget because let's say you are making X amount, but you need to spend not for I'm not talking about crazy spending, but just to maintain your life.
Mm.
X plus 10, for example.
Yeah.
Kind
That
of
is the point.
hard. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the point of budgeting.
Mm.
So, if you are making, let's say, your income is high enough to cover your basic expenses, now you can say, okay, I want to budget because I need to put this amount for my leisure, or I need to put this amount for, I don't know, uh, healthcare and for investment. So now you can do that. But if you are at the level that your spending are higher than your income, and when I'm talking about spending, I'm referring to like the basic spending. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
budget.
Okay. So basically, it depends on your income.
Yeah, in your situation, because if you don't have money, how are you going to budget?
Budget your time, I guess.
Yes. If you are rich, it's easier to budget.
Yeah, definitely. Everything is easier when you're rich. Almost everything. But do you think everything is actually easier when you're rich?
What is not easy?
Well, I think relationships are not easier.
With who? Broke people.
With people in general, I guess.
I think that you just need to understand that from 10 people who are going to talk to you, probably 9 or 7 are interested.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's not easy. It's harder to have genuine connections.
Yeah, this is life.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are
I'm not
you
saying
looking
it's
for
bad.
genuine?
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just, you asked me what is easier. So I'm just saying that one is not easier.
But why are you looking for genuine connection when
I
you are
think
rich?
I think all human are naturally wired to one connection. That's why we stay in touch with our family and parents. And
Yeah, you don't have the choice
what do you mean we don't have the choice?
because you are linked with them. So you cannot just cut them. But yes, you can, but
Okay. So do you have friends?
when you are rich,
No, no, I'm saying because you were
yes,
you have
yes,
friends, right?
yes.
Because you are asking me why are we looking for genuine connections,
Okay,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So you have friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have also business partners.
Yeah,
Okay. Are all your friends business partners?
not necessarily.
Okay. So why do you need friends since you already have business partners?
Okay, so why you don't keep your people with who you were broke when you become rich.
You're asking me why I don't keep?
Yeah, because it's hard to make new friends, right?
Yeah.
So why you don't keep the old people that were your friend already?
Why I'm not saying you should not keep them. What I'm saying, I'm trying to answer your question because you said, why will someone need a genuine connection?
Okay.
I'm saying if the fact that you have friends shows that you too you need genuine connections. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you didn't need genuine connections, you will only have business partners. You will
Yeah.
not need friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you too.
Yes. We'll find out. Want to become the biggest money lesson you have ever learned.
The biggest money lesson you have ever learned. Um the biggest money lesson. I think mm, that money is like energy. When I say like energy, I mean like, let's say electricity, right? You can use it to build a city, a country, or you can use it to burn it down. So money is not necessarily good or bad. It depends on what you make of it. It can build you, but it can destroy you if you're not careful.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Um money can money as you are having money, money can come and go.
Mm,
So not because you have money today that you will still have it tomorrow. So
yeah.
yeah. And yeah.
So since you know that money can come and go, how does it affect your relationship with money?
I see money as a tool.
A tool for what?
A tool for freedom, like to do whatever I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So money can enable that or help you doing
Mm.
whatever you want to do. But money won't buy everything.
What is money going
It's
not to
not going
be
to
able to,
buy.
yeah, what is money not going to be able to buy?
Like you were talking about genuine connection, for example.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else?
Uh,
Happiness?
huh, it depends because money can make you happy.
Is it pleasure or is it happiness?
Pleasure is part of happiness.
Really?
Yes.
When you see someone who is like a crackhead, is he really happy? Because he definitely has
That I
pleasure.
say pleasure is part of happiness. Doesn't mean
Okay.
that when you are having
Pleasure, you are happy. Okay, I
yes,
understand.
yes,
So money can give you pleasure, which is part of happiness,
sure.
but not necessarily happiness.
Yeah, but it can also bring you make you become happy.
Mm,
Happier.
happier. Yeah. Okay. Understand. Let's go to the next question. Should your job be your passion or just your paycheck?
If it's your paycheck, it's gonna be boring.
Mm.
So yeah, they make it fun. But I'm wondering, do you think that the woman, like the oldest job that exists,
What is the
which
oldest job?
you don't know what it is.
Teach me, master. What is the oldest job?
Okay, let's say a woman who is selling uh, her body.
Her body?
Yes,
How? How does she sell her body?
on the
She's
marketplace.
she's selling herself like a slave? Like, I don't understand. Try.
No,
How does she do it?
she's an exchange.
What does she exchange?
Her body,
To whom?
people.
And what do people do with their body?
Different type of stuff.
Like fish stuff.
It can be watching, touching. I don't know.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
you didn't saw that on TV.
Well, we didn't have TV in my village, so. So yeah, tell me, what about the oldest profession?
Yeah, do you think that they are happy? They
People
are doing that for paycheck or for
fashion.
passion? Yeah.
Well, you need to ask someone who did it. You need. I think this is one of the questions you need to have experience to be able to tell.
Hmm.
Don't you think?
You need to bring someone like that
Because
to this show.
who are you to say that someone is happy or not? Are you in their brain?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying that we need to bring that person
Yeah,
in the show
yeah,
to break the boundaries.
yeah, definitely.
To tell us. So
Mm. So to you, money doesn't buy happiness, but it can partially buy happiness.
um yeah. Yeah, a lot of happiness, not just partially.
So okay, what are the things that you think money cannot buy?
Beside our health is the only thing. Maybe health. What else?
Do you think money can buy love?
Hmm. Are you sure that you need love when you are rich?
That's a good question, actually. Well, I think it depends. Do you need love? I have my answer, but I want to
Me?
know. No, I think I know what your true answer is, but tell me, do you need love?
Am I going to need love when I become rich?
Do you need love? Let's start there.
Depends on which type of love.
Well, romantic love.
I think that uh, romantic love, like other type of relationship, is a one sort of exchange.
Mm.
I don't think that I need the love like we see on TV.
Yeah, which kind of love do you need? Do you think you need then?
All I want from a woman is peace.
Ah.
As simple as that.
But you were the one that was saying that you don't like boring people or boring conversation.
Peace doesn't mean that it's boring. I think that I can self entertain myself enough.
So you don't need her to be entertained. You just need her to be boring.
Not boring, but peaceful.
What is the difference? Boring is most of the time peaceful is boring. Because
No,
peaceful means there's no problem, nothing is going on. You just chill.
no, it doesn't mean that there's no problem. It
When you
means
go to a
that
nightclub, is it peaceful?
it's chill because you are relaxing your mind.
You're relaxing your mind with loud noises and
What? Yes.
and okay. When you see a nightclub, right?
Yes.
Between a nightclub and let's say a remote place with a greenery
The
view and a
church.
sunset. No, not the church. A remote place with a greenery view and a sunset. A sunset.
Yes.
What is more
Yes.
peaceful?
Depend on the mood.
Depend on the mood.
Yes.
Okay.
Because sometime you may find the remote location boring than the
And I
nightclub.
was not talking about boring. I was talking about peaceful. What
Oh,
is more peaceful?
okay. Okay. The short answer is the remote location, but it's not a true. It's not always true.
Okay. So the short answer is the remote location, but it's not. When is that place not peaceful?
Because like I said, sometimes you need to be in that club,
Mm.
listen to that music, drink it to that champagne.
To find a peace within yourself.
It's
This is water,
different.
by the way. It's not champagne.
Yeah. This is what happened when you are doing show with broke people.
Yeah, we don't have budget for champagne. Hopefully, you will subscribe and then we will have more money. So yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, there are times that don't want to be in that place to relax your mind. Like
Mm.
peaceful means relaxing your mind, be in a chill zone,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, being in a remote location is more like sleeping in
Yeah.
your bed. But
Okay.
some people may find it more interesting. So it depends.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends. Okay. Let's
But
go.
do you think that what if you were, which one is more peaceful? Going to a place where you would find girls,
Okay.
or the remote location you were talking about?
I think peace is mostly a mindset. You can be if you have true problems, you can be anywhere, you will not have peace.
Yeah.
But if you are really peaceful in your mind, you can be almost anywhere and you have peace. So I think it depends on what is going on in your mind.
Hmm.
So it's not necessarily where you physically are is where your is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. Let's go to the next question then. What is a mistake you made early in investing?
um, Thinking that because you are investing, you are going to win. You're going to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, forgetting that investing is a risk.
Yeah. Like everything. It's not because you are working hard that you are going to succeed. That's
Yeah.
the same with investment. Not
Mm,
because you're investing that you are going to make get a return.
mm.
Not only on money, but can be on relationship. Like thing.
Do you think it's possible to, because I want to go with your logic, do you think it's really possible to invest and have no return whatsoever? By no yeah?
Yeah, at least you will learn.
Okay. So it's not possible.
It's possible.
How? If you don't learn?
Oh, okay. You are saying that if it's not possible to have a return,
Is it
right?
possible to invest and have no return at all?
Uh,
I'm not just talking about financial return.
as a return, you what
You
a feedback?
Let's say you start at zero,
Yes.
right? Is it possible that you invest and
Mm-hmm.
after investing, you are still at zero, truly, not just
Zero,
financially, but
zero. What the currency?
no, no, no. Zero, let's say you are at a point zero in your life and you
Yes,
decide to invest.
yes. You can start at zero because the investment will give you a feedback. Maybe
Mm.
you may decide to not take that feedback.
Okay, so basically, if you don't learn
Yes.
from the result, from
Yeah.
the feedback,
Yes.
mm,
Good or bad,
yeah.
you will get a return.
So if you learn from your investment or from the risk you are taking, if you make sure you learn, there's no way you get zero return, according to what you're saying.
Yes, doesn't mean that the return will be uh, joy or happiness.
Yeah,
You can get slaps
yeah,
like with trading.
yeah.
So yeah, so it doesn't mean that you will get the feedback. Maybe now you will decide to act on it or use it or not.
Mm.
But at least you will get the feedback.
Okay, let's go
Yeah.
to the next question.
What is the 50-30-20 rule, and does it still hold?
50-30-20. I don't know that rule.
I think that like maybe you earn 100%, you spend 50, you save 20. What happened to 30?
You invest,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. No, you spend 50, you
Save 30 and invest 20.
save
Mm.
30 and invest 20.
Mm. Well,
Mm, that sounds too cute.
that means you are not broke.
Yeah, you are doing good because you're
You're
able
doing
to
well
save.
already.
Basically, you are able to save 50% of your
Yeah.
income.
Yeah, that's you need to be making a lot to be able to do that in most big cities.
Yes, expensive city.
So I'm not getting, just speak. We got it out.
Could you repeat the question?
Okay.
What is the 50, 30, 20 old?
So for that, because you're saying that you spend 50, you save 30, you invest on 20.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, somebody realizes they want to do the vice versa. They want to spend 30, save 50, and then save on the 20. Is it still a good idea to flip the script? You know, sometimes people deny themselves the right to spend so that they can invest.
Well, it depends in my opinion, because if you are making 1,000 a month, there's no way you are going to save to save 50, right?
Mhm.
So it depends. First of all, you have to make enough to be able to afford that question.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, assuming you can afford that question, again, it depends on what your goals are, what your priorities are, and where you want to go in your life. So if you're, let's say, a 60-year-old public worker, public servant, and all your kids are working, and you don't have much to do left, you don't have much to do in life, why will you save 50? So to me, it depends. If you are a young worker of 25 or 26 years old and you have a life to build, why will you spend 50 if you can afford to spend less? So to me, it depends. There's not like a one size fits all answer.
And in regards to the workers, there are some situations where companies or organizations give their workers a retirement fund. Let's say if
Yeah.
you have a contract of 5 years, 10 years, you leave, you get a 401k or you
Yeah.
get a retirement fund. Is this thing worth it or does it end up being a trap to this person?
Well, personally, I will not bet my retirement on something I cannot control. So if I have a choice to if I have a choice to decide how I want my retirement to be, I would like to be in full control. So I will not advise someone to think that, okay, this company is going to take care of my retirement, because you don't know what can happen. So yeah, what if the person who manages that funds somehow steal the money?
And what if you had given advice to that person not to save the money with the pension fund
Yeah.
and person end up losing that money investment?
That's life. You can lose the money the other way as well. At least, well, if you lose the money yourself, you have learned. So you'll be a better person than if the person lost the money for you. So
Okay,
yeah,
so you learn 1 year before your retirement that you uh you are broke now.
you can learn 1 year before your retirement that you are broke from the four. How do you call it? 401k.
401k.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
this
can
thing they
happen
use
too.
here.
So my opinion would be that, like, to just balance the risk. Yeah.
How?
Well, personally, personally, what I'll try to do is to learn what is the risk of depending on the 401k. What is the risk of investing myself? And how do I minimize the risk in both scenarios?
But if you go with that analysis,
Yeah,
the risk of losing your money when you are investing it in a 401k is really low compared to the risk of you investing that money directly.
depends.
Or what?
If you invest your money yourself,
Yeah.
right? If you are, let's say, an amateur investor, right? Of course, your risk is going to be higher. It's not like the person who is investing the 401k money is doing magic. It's an investor as well, right? So if you get the skill to become a great investor, on the long run, it's actually safer to do it yourself.
Yeah, but then in that case, your capital is kind of guaranteed.
How? No, it's not. It happened actually that people 401k vanished. You know that, right?
Yeah, but you can choose which type of investment to use with your you
With your
can
401k.
yes, you can go with a safe option where you don't want to take any risk
Mm-hmm.
and you can go all in.
But you know that even the safe option can fail, right?
Yes, but the probability of that option to fail
Yeah.
is still less
Than
than
doing it yourself, right?
yes.
Okay. Now I think it depends. You have to ask yourself a question. Do I trust whoever is managing the 401k with my life more than I trust myself? If you think that you trust the other person, then go for the 401k. If you trust yourself, go for yourself. Me personally, I will go for myself. I know the risk it includes, but I will go for myself because the same way it's going to be less risky to go for the 401k. The same way it's not going to be if you want to like really multiply your money, you're not going to be able to do it that way. So and you can do both as well if you can. So that's why I said that you need to balance the risk.
I think that the biggest issue with the 401k is the rate of return.
Yeah, it's not much. Actually, I think from what I heard, it's even lower than inflation.
Yeah, it can be lower.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, you can lose money doing that, but lose at a very slow pace. Yeah,
Um, Personally, I'm not so sure about that because the timelines, looking at the duration
yeah,
and also the control, as you said, I don't have control about the money. So that means that it becomes also a problem in trusting because looking at the timelines, there are people changing. And
yeah.
you cannot be able to tell who is coming in as
Exactly, exactly.
you see. So for me, I feel it's a no because I'd rather try it on myself. And then when I lose, I'll get first hand
Yeah,
experience. I will either blame or at least I will lose with something small,
yeah, yeah.
rather than losing everything
On
to
something you don't
strangers.
control. Yeah, yeah,
And looking at the also the the capacity, I can't fight the bigger
yeah,
opponent,
yeah.
you know. So for me, it's a no.
Okay, so basically, you rather trust yourself with your future.
Yes.
Okay.
But another part of the equation is that, uh, yeah, the 401k, as I'm not in the 401k, but it's also, I mean, for most people,
Mm-hmm.
401k can be a good option because they don't have other, but you can also do both.
Yeah,
So you save, like, try to diversify the risk, right?
yeah, yeah,
You have a portion of your income that you are putting in the 401k and another portion that you use for your project,
yeah.
knowing that at least,
You have some kind of balance.
yeah,
Yeah,
worst
exactly.
case scenario, you will be working again at
At 70.
at 17.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Is it that bad?
Well, ask me that question when I'm 70.
I know people at 70 who are doing okay. They're happy.
They're happy.
Yeah.
Great.
Donald Trump.
Great for. Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's happy.
He's literally on top of the world. So, yeah.
Not that bad. How has your relationship with money changed over years?
How has my relationship with money changed over years? Well, it changed. Let's say it became more friendly. When I say more friendly, I mean when I was younger, because I'm old now, by the way, if you hadn't noticed, but when I was younger, I used to believe to have like a kind of victim mentality about money. Like if you are born from a family who is not rich, then you are likely not going to be rich
It's because of church.
because of church. Mm, not that one, but church also influenced a lot of beliefs because if you have a strong Christian background, you tend to believe also certain things about money. For example, there's a quote in the Bible that says, I don't know exactly in English, but it says something like, "It's as hard for a rich to get into heaven as it is for a camel to go through the thing of a needle," something like
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
right? So if you have a strong Christian background, you tend to have to associate money with a negative connotation because it means that if you have money, you will not go to
Yeah.
to heaven. But funnily enough, when you have money, Catholic priests or Christian priests or Christian pastors tend to like you more. So I
You don't
don't
need
know.
to read the Bible anymore.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at that perspective, the
Yeah.
spiritual aspect. When you're helping, as a Christian,
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing, right?
When you're helping,
Like if a Christian or any religious person
yeah.
helps the needy, it's a good thing, right?
Good for whom?
Like according to the beliefs of the church or the
Yeah, yes.
So I'm looking at a point whereby you really want to help, but you don't have the resources. You're not rich, you're poor. Or like, let me ask the question: how many people are you going to help? When you're poor, if you're willing to help, that is.
Yes.
And how many people are you going to help when you are rich,
Mm.
when you are willing to help?
Yeah.
So a rich person who is willing to help, I think he's going to touch more people, and even at maybe, just maybe, he can convince people to come to church because of the wealth.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
I
That's
think,
a good point.
yeah. So I think it's good also to have money, even as
Well, that's an irony, right? Because there are some places in the Christian faith where it's kind of glorified to be poor, but at the same time, Christianity preaches helping others, and you cannot do that if you are poor. So I don't know, maybe
You can pray for them.
we can. Yeah, I guess.
Just
Yeah.
just to add on that. Okay, there's something. There's a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
There's this say that money attracts money.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
based on that question, what do you think about that? Does
Mo-
that mean that if you have more money, there's high chances of you making money? And if it's true, how can you say it? As in, can you maybe explain to us how does money attract money?
Okay. You want to answer or I start?
Uh, yeah. The only thing that I can say is that it's like everything.
Mm.
When you have more money, you are more chill, you are more relaxed, you are hanging out with people who are pretty at the same level as you or close, and you are looking for there are opportunity out there that are available only to people who has a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So with less risk,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, um, compared to the amount of money you have, you can, if you come back on the rule of 50, 20, 30,
Yeah. Your 20 is bigger.
your 20% is bigger than the 100% of someone else. So you can afford to invest more. You can afford to do more project, and that means that you have more chances to make more money
Yeah.
than someone who doesn't
Yeah.
have anything.
Yeah. What I would just add is I think before reaching that level, because what you're saying is like in the physicality of life, if you have money, it's easier to make more, right?
Mhm.
But I think before reaching that level, you have to, I believe, it starts with your mind. Like if you, the more you're focused on money or on making money or on growing the money you have, the easier it gets to make it, or the more likely you are to make it. Let me take an example. We have seen countless occurrences of families that are super rich. Then they leave lots of money to their children. 3 generations down the line, it's gone. It happened so many times. I think even one of the richest family in America today, they are just like you and me, right? But they were the founder of that family was literally the richest man of the world in the world at the time. So I think yes, if you have money physically, it's easier to make as long as you are money minded. If you are just focused on spending, even if you have a lot of money, it's going to disappear eventually. What do you think?
Yes, yes. And I think he was also saying it's easier for you to make money. Doesn't mean that you are going to make money, but
Yeah.
the
It's just
chance
easier. Yeah,
you have more
definitely.
chance to make money than someone who doesn't have any money.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, because you have more opportunity, and this is something that we often see that money, wealth doesn't sustain like all those generation. Maybe it's because people lose. People tend to forget
How
how they get it in the first place. So they are not make. It's simple. If you are spending more than you are earning, it's just a matter of time
yeah,
for you to kind of become broke, right?
yeah,
So, yeah, I think that this is the reason why you have all money will become no money.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Let's go to the next question. So, passive income, myth, magic, or must have?
Passive income.
Is it a myth?
No, it's not a myth.
Is it magic?
It's not a magic.
So, it's a must have.
It must have for a normal person, right? Normal person like someone who's not. Yeah, I'm saying is I, I can't say it's a must have because there are some people who doesn't really need that passive income.
Really? I don't really agree because to me, it's a must have. Let me give you an example.
To
We were talking about 401k, right? To everyone. We were talking about 401k, right?
yes,
So the reason why the 401k exists is because we know that at a certain age you will not be able to work.
yes.
So if you are not able to work, you still need money to take care of yourself.
But what do you define as a passive income?
Income that comes without you working.
Okay, so let's say for example you have already 100 billion in cash.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me that's a must have for me to have a passive income?
Well, if you have already 100 billion in cash, it's probably because you have passive incomes.
No, I
How are you
don't
going
have.
to make that much money
With one
without?
company,
Hmm?
one company.
So you
Then I
just keep the money somewhere.
no, I build a company, then
Yeah.
sell it.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you have the money,
Yes,
you spend the money, right?
yes.
So
You,
it's an income you have.
but it's not a must have
But I'm saying you are able to sustain yourself
with a billion.
with a billion
Yes,
and you don't have to work.
yes.
You sustain yourself with an income.
No, it's not the income.
What is income?
When we are talking about income, is something that is coming at the
Okay, I
at,
get what you mean. I get what you mean. So you are saying that if uh if you have a big amount of money,
yes.
then you don't need a passive income.
Yes, and you don't plan to, let's say, pass it down or
You just want to
trying
spend
to
it.
create generation wealth.
Yeah.
Just
Okay, let
want
me
to.
explain to you why even if you are at that level, you still need passive income.
Okay.
Okay, if you have a big amount of money, let's say it's in Kenyan shillings, right? And you plan to use that money for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Do you really want to put all of your money in Kenyan shillings? Don't you want to put it in other places that can or the assets that can generate income so that you can diversify the risk. What if the Kenyan shillings go?
Yeah, but you are saying that it's a must-have.
Yeah.
I can do that, but I'm not forced to. Let's say that money is in USD, for example.
Well, when I say must have, I'm saying it's the what you must do if you want to be safe. You don't have to have a retirement plan.
Yeah.
But if you want to be safe, you must have a retirement plan. What I'm saying is that if you have a big amount of money, you don't have to spend it. You don't have to invest it. But if you want to save, it's better to invest it.
Yes, but what I'm saying, your money, let's say
Yeah.
you put it in different currency.
Yeah.
It's not invested. It's
Mm-hmm.
cash liquid.
Yeah.
So it's big enough to sustain yourself for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's not a must for you if you don't have other plans than, let's say, making more money or pre- prepare something for the generation that will come after you. It's not a must because
Okay. So you're
it's
saying that
spread.
you basically you put your money into another currency, right?
You have your money in different currency, not only one.
Okay. So you put okay, I get what you mean. So you put your money in different currencies so that you can spend the money for the rest of your life. That's what you're saying.
Yes, you can spend it for the rest of it. Maybe you won't be able to spend it for the rest of your life.
But what is the difference between putting your money into another currency and putting your money into real estate, for example?
When you are saying it's a must,
Yeah.
that means that if the person doesn't do that, they are in trouble, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
You
What
can
you are
have
saying?
no 401k, right?
Yeah,
But your kids are rich. You're lucky and your kids get rich.
but if they
So
are not
yes.
rich,
Okay, yes, that's what I'm saying. So to be safe, it's better to have a passive income.
yes, but
That's what I'm saying. So there's no way you can be safer without passive income than someone who has passive income. Get what I mean?
yes, but when you take that cash,
Yeah.
you invest in real estate.
Yeah.
You are risking the money, right?
Well, if you diversified your investment enough, you're actually safer than if you because even if you take the cash and you put it in currencies, you're also risking money.
Yes, but
But
the
if you diversify your money, if you invest wisely, the
yes,
risk is lower,
but
right?
your money is not liquid.
You can invest in liquid assets,
Like what?
index funds.
Yeah, but it's risky.
Well, index funds is actually less risky than,
Than cash?
yeah,
How?
because index fund is like usually, let's say you invest into compare, for example, right?
Yes.
The likelihood of a country's currency failing, right?
Yeah.
Compared to investing in index funds of, let's say, the top companies, let's say the top 100 companies in all of the big countries in the world. What is more likely to fail? Okay, let me take an example. In history, have we ever seen the top countries, the top companies, let's say the top 20, 50 companies, right? In all of the countries in the world failed? It never happened, but we've seen currencies fail.
That's why I have the money in different currency.
Yes, but you're not
Yes.
safe than the person who invested there and who has returns because it makes more money. So if something happens, he has more. I feel like
yeah.
this is a conversation that is kind of pointless because most people don't have 100 billions anyway. So why even ponder the question? But yeah, what
Yeah.
you wanted to say.
Yes. It's pointless for the future when they get there.
Because if I had 100 billion, I would not be here trying to. Yeah, I'm not
convince
sure I will
you.
be here. Maybe I will be, but I'm not sure.
But for my case, I'm trying
Yeah.
to understand both you and Raul because it makes sense on my end,
Yeah.
but not separately,
Okay.
together, like a
Yeah.
good sandwich. It makes perfect sense when it's together, not separately. Let's say, for
Good.
example, what Raul is saying to keep his money in different currencies. I'm on par with that.
Yeah.
But in terms of saving, I go
Yeah.
with the highest currency at the time. If it's the USD, I'll save through that.
Yeah.
When the trading market is good, I'll switch up to the next one if it's the pound or the euro. But then you realize, oh yes, I have extra cash flow. Maybe I was trading somewhere. Now that's where all the investments come in. You'll find somebody has decided to invest in NFTs. Somebody has decided to do crypto. Others have done real estate. Others have even done art, which art is actually the most pointless thing because art can burn down, right?
Yeah.
So you find people do their investments in actual physical things, wait, and then they sell it. Let's say, for example, in the West Canada market, in the black market. Let's say I own the Mona Lisa right now.
Yeah.
I've bought it at 5 million shillings. I see that as an investment because the next person will really want it and I can sell it for 20 million. You see, they see it as an investment. But at the same time, you realize people still don't know, how am I going to walk into this? Because they just pretend, oh yeah, I saw Raoul investing the cash over here, so I'll do the same. The cash disappears.
Yeah.
They see another person saying, oh, I realized that somebody opened an offshore account in Switzerland, I'll do the same. And then they do that, and then the money disappears. And then they're like, oh, nah. So I think it's all about a learning curve. You get a learning curve, a trial and error. You decide today, I'll start small, I'll change my currency. If it doesn't
Yes.
work out for you, well and good, try something else. But if it does, move on to the next step. Okay, this has worked. Now I move on to something a little bit easier. Let's say crypto or even online, what's it called? Online trading, where you don't have to do anything. You just have to cash in the funds, make a portfolio. You can do this on Microsoft Edge, actually. Something very easy. So you can do that. And then if it doesn't work out for you, you take it out. And it's from as easy as low as, I think, Kenyan shillings, you can start as low as 800 bob. You see, that's little money. But from somebody who already has a whole lot of money, they're not thinking that. They're just thinking, whose shares am I buying in whose company? Whose bonds am I buying? Whose stocks am I buying? That's the concept now they have. So you see, it's different individuals here, but they're trying to achieve the same end goal.
So basically, you're saying that you need to learn how to invest to be able to have to guarantee your passive income.
Exactly.
Okay. So we agree that you must have passive income.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Okay.
I think it also depends at which point in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying you are 5, you must have passive
Mhm.
income.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
saying
then
you must
also
have
financially,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, go on.
because I think there are even levels when you get, like you say, that couple of billions, automatically you realize that there'll be some passive income. Because even if you put that money in the account, there are interests that are supposed to come.
Yeah.
And that is automatically passive income. So it's kind of must. Because, as long as you're putting your money somewhere,
Yeah.
there are terms and conditions that guarantee for you to have that money at that particular level.
Mm.
And there are benefits that come with it. So for me, it depends at which point.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's safer to be guaranteed than sorry later on? That's why you find out some people, let's say we're a young couple straight out of college, we've just had a kid. You'll find somebody, the first thing they think about this kid, let me set up a college fund. Whatever little money I make along the way, we just drop it into the college fund. By the time this kid is all grown up, they have money for college. Others, they do that the same way, but for mortgages. You see, they have a mortgage fund. They say, whatever little change I'm making out here, I'm going to throw it in there. So that in the future, I can say, oh, this is the amount of money I have, so let's try and get a mortgage. Some, they do the same, but for students, let's say you're just paying things here and there, you can say these are for trips, for educational trips. You'll find everybody has their own mentality. Because earlier, the first question you asked earlier before this was, how has your relationship with money changed over the years?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I see it as a ladder. Just think of it as a ladder or a pyramid. There'll be a point you'll have somebody who is extremely poor. They've never seen money in their life. Money is not even a luxury. It's not even a want. It's not even a need. It's something they can't even fantasize about because they think this is nothing that's achievable. Next to them, it's somebody who is broke because you haven't reached rock bottom, but you know clearly you have no money. Above that is somebody you're comfortable. You're not broke, you're not rich, but you're comfortable. You can very well pay your school fees. You can very well pay your hospital bills, but you can't have the luxuries that the rich people have. You can't just go out of the blue and buy a car. So above you is the rich person. You'll find the rich person are who he considers the 1%, like Donald Trump or maybe Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. They don't have generational wealth, but they made the money themselves and now they're rich. Above that is now the wealthy. That's why we have a comparison between the rich and the wealthy. These are the unmentionables. You don't even know who they are. They're the 0%, 0 point percent, you've never met them, but they exist. The old money kind of people, where you find it's not just you, not just your kids, not just your parents, not just your grandpa. It's money that went down, 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 down. And they go on teaching their kids, this money cannot be lost. This is how we trade. This is how we sell. This is how we do businesses. This is how we start a business. You'll find that it's different aspects. So from each and every level, there's a level somebody will decide, oh, I don't need a passive income. The money's there. You'll find another person, they realize, oh no, this is important. You'll find another person is saying, even the passive income, I can't even get it. So what's the point? You
Yeah.
see?
Yeah, so it depends on your objective.
Yeah.
So yeah, because let's say someone who is stage what 5 of cancer, about to die soon.
Yeah. Why would you need passive income?
Why would you need passive income to do
Maybe.
what?
For a
May-
funeral, perhaps.
No, but you might have a kid who is 13
Yeah.
and you will need the passive income for the kid.
Yes,
But
exactly.
yeah, what
But-
if you don't have kids?
Well, like, yeah, so if you, even though you have kid and you are, I don't know if I'm going to say selfish, but you don't want the kid
Yeah,
are
you're not a nice person just like you.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
just decide not to save for them.
Yeah. They work their own money.
Yes. So it depends.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think we are done with the questions. You have something to add?
Wrap it up.
Hmm?
Finish.
Okay, so we are going to wrap it up. Thank you for following us. Thank you for being with us today. It was a pleasure to answer all these questions. I hope we answered most of the questions you had. If you have questions, you can add them to the comments and we can have another episode to reply to your questions. So thank you and have a good day. Peace.